Speaking of goth boots, it's getting to look like that. Remember the old pickup line? Starts with nice boots. And having been a goth in the 90s, I can tell you from experience, it actually fucking worked. So we'll draw on here the curve down to the heel. We're not going to curve the bottom of the foot because that's the flat. It don't matter. We are going to curve that up there. And on the toe, we're on an angle up. To a curve. So as you can see, we did add a lot more material than was necessary when we glued it on. That's okay. A lot of this is getting cut off anyway. There's this other one down here. Try and match it point to point. That far up. So that far up. So that's where that cutoff is going to be. That far down to the curve. So that far down to the curve. So that's where it's going to curve off. About like that. Looks about even. And that far down, so that far up. I'll start curving it up. Curving it down. And get it roughly the same. It's not the same. That's the same. Yeah. Top line, not the bottom line. Those will be easy to cut. Show you when I get them done. And it's starting to look a little bit more like feet. It's not too bad. She'll stand up. Well, these will stand up. She won't when she's done because she'll be too heavy. But next step is going to be to mark and trim the curve on the calves, which shouldn't take that long, and I might actually be able to show you some of it. Take a set distance, about there. Mark that line all the way down. Taper it onto the curve towards the foot, where that point's going to be. Same distance in the other direction. On the front of the calf. So the shin. And the same thing at the bottom. Tapering it down to the point where it ends on the foot. That's as simple. It just rounds out the shin, and on the back, the calf, which again, be the same distance. And we'll taper this one down to this point here. And how we decide where this mark goes, that distance, is we made a circle, the end that attaches to everything, and where that circle meets the edge of the square, that's where that line goes. And it's the same distance at every point. So that's where those angles are going to be cut off. So I'll mark those out and cut those and then show you what I'm left with after. Now that you can see the glaring difference between finished one and not finished one, it actually looks much more like a foot, much more like a leg. There's not a really distinct ankle in it, but that's okay. It's not going to bend anyway. Still stands up, so it's all straight and level. Once I get that one cut, next thing's going to be cutting this knee joint and doing the same on the thigh here. You know, seriously, KFC and Popeyes could use thighs that big, but you don't get them that way. So yeah, I'll trim that one down. I'll mark them both for the, well, they're marked, but I'll finish marking them both for the knee joint and then cut it. Then I'll show you what she looks like all laid out. Now that I'm covered in chunks of foam, it's all over the place, it's all over my shirt, it's just a mess. The feet are done, the hands have not yet been carved, nor will they be for a little while. But the joints are put together, which means, let's see if I can show you how this leg's going to work. If I can sit on a level spot, right there, that ought to do it. So, it will bend that far. She'll be able to sit down. Looks like proper human range of motion. All in all, other than the hands, which they're going to be tomorrow's job, but other than the hands, we are completely ready. Let's see if I can get an overhead view for you here. Other than the hands, we are completely ready to start putting the skin on the body. So we got to do the hands and the head, the parts a lion don't eat. But yeah, the arms have a range of motion. The shoulders will bend like this. The head will be able to swivel on the neck, but it won't be able to go up or down. That's fine. All in all, I think that's about as far as I'm going to get today. So tomorrow, I'm going to have to take a trip somewhere to pick up a styrofoam head to work from. Outside of that, I got to find someone who's about 5'5", measure the length of their hand, because mine's going to be way too big. As you can see, it's not going to fit. So I'll find the same person who's 5'5" that I measured feet on to get that silhouette. And measure their hands for length and start making a silhouette of a hand on those blocks there. And that should do it. And once that's done, we'll start building. I might do the head first. I might start on the skin on the body. But there is a headless, skinless Katsu doll ready for the next step. Talk to you next time.